This is a family story that happened sometime in the late 80s, I believe. For context, I have a huge family, German/Irish Catholic, and growing up we always had big family parties for birthdays, holidays, etc. My mom, several aunts, grandma, and great-grandma were at my grandma's house cleaning up after a party late at night. It was probably 10 or 11 at night. My great-grandma went to bed. She lived with my grandparents, due to dementia and a lack of resources for the elderly during that time. My great-grandma came out to the living room in her nightgown and said, "There's a man outside of my window." Understandably disturbed, a few of the group go into her room and look outside the window. The backyard is not a very large backyard. It was mostly ivy and gardens. There was an iron bench with a vintage lamp post next to it. It had a very early 1900s look to it. There was no sign of anyone outside. Chalking it up to dementia, my grandma said, "There's nobody there. It's okay, go back to bed." The group continued cleaning while listening to music and goofing around. My great-grandma came out again and said there was a man outside her window. The group walked back into her bedroom to look out the window. This is the exchange between my grandma and my great-grandma. "Where is the man that you are seeing?" "He just knocked on the window. He wants me to come outside." "What does he look like?" "He's very handsome. He's wearing an all-white suit with a top hat and white shoes. He wants me to come outside to meet the lady." "What lady?" "The pretty lady on the bench." "You don't see her?" "She's wearing a very nice pink dress." At this point, my mom, aunts, and grandma are pretty freaked out. They turn on every light and search the backyard. There's no sign of anyone having been there. Everyone decides her dementia is progressing faster than they thought and called it a night. The next morning, my grandma gets a phone call from some family in California. They were calling to say that my great-grandma's sister had passed the night before. My grandma was obviously upset, especially because as far as she knew, her aunt was in relatively good health. My grandma composed herself and asked, "Was she sick? What happened?" The family member from California said, "Not as far as we know. But she must have known it was coming." My grandma asked, "Why do you say that?" She fell asleep in her bed wearing her favorite pink dress.